could have strategy against us. And also,
and I believe that there were.
And what it changed for us as a people, like what it changed, like for how we look out of our own eyes, for how we walk out of like, I remember on 9/11, I walked out of a building. I was staying with some friends. I walked outside and there was just some like construction going on, and it had been going on for a while. And they were like redoing these like this stone walkway. I was in Charleston, South Carolina, and they had these bulldozers and stuff out there. And like people had been excited about the construction. Like it was like, because the streets there are cobblestone. It's really beautiful. And suddenly that day, everybody was like, are they demolishing something? Like suddenly this had a whole different energy of like, oh, like this is the rubble. Like there was a connection with like what you just seen on television to suddenly like something that was being done that was positive structurally was now suddenly looked at like there was a lot of fear around it. And I know that's a ridiculous small thing.
But that's normal. That happened at the time.
Right. And it's just how much of a small thing in your head, like, okay, I just seen this and now everything is scary. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Everything is scary.
I think that's exactly right. The whole country was traumatized. It was our Pearl Harbor, the Pearl Harbor of our generation.
And it changed how you would operate. It changed just like it adjusted so many things. Go on though.
So July 6th, 2001, I'm hosting a group of intelligence officers from a Middle Eastern country. This is something we did literally every single day, usually multiple times a day. And what we do is we set up a day of briefings. They get a photo op with the director, shaking hands. We exchange gifts and we take them out to a fancy dinner at night. So these guys, they were all mid-level, like majors and lieutenant colonels.
So it's a lot of bullshit.
Yeah, a lot of it. A lot, yes. So I set up a day of briefings and I went to see this kid, young guy, 20s, that was covering al-Qaeda. And I said, can you come and just talk to these guys about al-Qaeda for an hour? He said, yes. So it came time for his briefing, but instead of him coming, the director of counterterrorism comes, Cofer Black, later Ambassador Cofer Black. And he comes
from which country?
From
the U.S.
Yeah. He was our director.
So he showed up.
Cofer shows up with the director of operations from the Osama bin Laden unit, and I jumped up. I was like, oh, gentlemen, I said, this is Cofer Black. He's the director of counterterrorism for the entire American intelligence community.
And you were working in counterterrorism at the time. Got it.
And so he came in and sat down, and he was very, very serious. He said, something terrible is going to happen. We don't know exactly when or exactly where, but we know it's going to be an attack on a scale that we've never seen before. He said, we're picking up chatter from the al-Qaeda training camps where camp commanders are on the phone with their students and they're crying and telling them, I'll see you in paradise. We're hearing code words for a massive attack. The honey salesman is coming with vast quantities of honey, where there's going to be a huge wedding or a huge football game. And he said, we know that they're planning an enormous attack. We just don't know when or where. And he said, I'm begging you, if you have any sources inside al-Qaeda, please help us. They just sat there and looked at him. Nothing. So at the end of the day, I was not working on al-Qaeda at the time. I weeks later, became the chief of counterintelligence in the Osama bin Laden unit. And so I went to his office at the end of the day before I took those guys to dinner. And I said, Cofer, I got to tell you, you shocked me with that briefing today. Was that just for them or were you serious? He said, oh, I was deadly serious. Something terrible is going to happen. And then on September 11th, there it was. He and I were supposed to go to the White House that morning. We had a meeting with Condoleezza Rice, who was the national security advisor at the time, on an issue that's so stupid now, I'm almost embarrassed to tell you what it is. It was about a book that was being printed by the government printing office, this minor governmental agency called Greece, Turkey, Cyprus. Or no, it was called Foreign Affairs of the United States, Greece, Turkey, Cyprus, 1949 to 1967. Oh. Literally nobody's going to read this book.
Nobody, I was going to tell you that. Nobody's going to read it.
Literally nobody.
Yeah.
And it's like 1,000 pages long.
That's money laundering.
And it had the names of 3 CIA sources who were still alive. And we've got this obscure law in the United States that if the government outs a CIA source, we have to offer the source citizenship. These guys are like 198 and 97 years old. They don't care.
Right.
Nobody's going to read the book anyway. So we were going to go down there and ask her, just pull those pages out of the book. You know, nobody's going to miss it. Nobody's going to read it anyhow. Just pull the pages out or redact the names or whatever. But I went up to tell him that the car was ready and the secretary's got a little TV on her desk and the World Trade Center's on fire. I said, what happened to the World Trade Center? She said, a plane flew into it. And I go, because I'm a genius. I said, you know, that happened once before in 1930. A bomber flew into the Empire State Building, but it was like pouring rain and fog. I said, it's so crystal clear today. How can you not see that you're flying into the World Trade Center? And just as I spoke the words, the second plane hit. And then she turned and she said, did you see that or did I imagine it? And it's like, oh, everything's going to go to shit now.
And at this point, you're already working in counterterrorism, yeah?
Well, I was already in counterterrorism, but I was working on a group. See, again, I'm embarrassed to even say I was working in a group that was targeting European communist terrorists like Carlos the Jackal, who nobody remembers now. He was the Osama bin Laden of the